Alrighty, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever y'all watching this. So I kind of made a plan. We'll see what happens. Apparently, I'm not allowed to listen to stream beats because I have 2 copyright claims, or 3 actually. So not sure what's going on with that. Maybe Harris Heller stole some stuff. I'm not sure. But at this point, we can kind of add photos. So let me grab some images here, and we kind of got it working. So let's just grab the same images I was working on before. Grab these, hit them. As you can see, they pop up like they're supposed to. Now the thing is, oops, it says that my audio bitrate is 0. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Shows that my mic is working. So hopefully it's all good. We'll see what happens, I guess. Definitely good. I just played it back. I don't know what YouTube's talking about. So if we come to here, we need this little X on the top right, and we need this little edit on the bottom right, I guess. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to need to go into the actual image itself. So the feed post goes out of this, and let's say for like 39, I think. Yeah, 39. And we're going to say add buttons to the image. I don't know what I called this, post creator post image or whatever it is. That's what we're going to work on first. We're going to make sure we can get this image, the add and edit or remove and edit going, and then kind of figure out what we're going to do from there. We're going to maybe have to do some other work because we're going to need to know which one to remove and stuff like that. So we're going to do a few things, but this is what I want to do is finish these up, and then we can work on tagging and add description, all that stuff. We're not going to really add a description yet. We're going to make the modal pop up, and then we can kind of keep that as like a side thing. We might not get every little tiny implementation done for Twitter, but if we can get the large majority of it, that's pretty good. So creator, we want the creator image. So we have our actual image here. So we need like a div class name equal to feed dash post dash creator dash image dash clear, I guess. And this will just be a div with like an X in it. And if we take a look at this again, it's just like an X with, technically it's probably actually a SVG. We'll do a lowercase x actually. And that's not even X, that's a Z. And then we'll have a, then we'll have a div class name equal to feed dash post creator dash image dash edit. This will pop up the edit thing, and this just says edit, I believe. Double check real Twitter. Yeah, it just says edit. That's all we really need on this guy. Now, of course, we need to style this, and we also need to do, I guess we need to do the, whatever it's called, the modal, and I'm not sure how we're going to do modal. Might need to create a new slice or something for the modal, I guess. Make sure that it pops up, because I don't think that we can pop it up on this. I think if we put on a modal here, it would break everything because of like the sizing and all of that stuff. We could try it, but I think that if we put the modal on this, it's not gonna quite work the way that we would want it to. And I could be wrong. We could try it and see what happens, but these will definitely need on clicks though. We'll go ahead and do the on clicks, I suppose. All right, so now kind of get some stuff going here. Let's go ahead and just make it look like it's supposed to, and then we can make it act like it's supposed to. Let's grab this again. Let's put it into our walkthrough. 40 style the new buttons. All right. So let's go into the CSS. I already forgot what we called these. So we have our image clear. We're going to need to make this position relative. So this one is going to be position absolute. And the size, let's take a look at how big this is. Inspect this. Size is going to be 30 by 30. Okay, I can deal with that. So width 30 px, height 30 px, border radius 100%. Have a background color, an RGBA of 0, 0, 0, point, I don't know, 5 maybe. I don't know exactly how dark it is. That might be too dark. Definitely like an RGBA value though. And okay. Then this needs to be so top be 0 and right 0. So that should change where it's at. So it should go in the top right. And then we can add some, well, padding's not going to do anything. So maybe we want to say top 12 pixels is probably going to be too much, but we can see. And I'm a little bit worried we're going to have to do special stuff with this, but we'll see what this looks like. That's too much. So this also needs a, on top of this, we need display flex. Then we need justify content in the center and align items in the center. So, and let's make this like 0.35 and color to be white. So we can see the X. All right. So it's too thick. And justify content center is doing nothing because this needs to go in here like that. Let's see now. Okay, cool. Way too thick. So font weight will be font weight will be, I don't know, 400 maybe. Too thick too. What about 300? I was going to tweak this a little bit and get nice and thin. And then font size, what about 18 px? That might be a little bit big. Let's see. I think it needs to be a little bit darker still. Or yet. So 4 maybe. That might be okay. Probably 20 pixels for the X. And really this should be like an X icon. I wonder if Material UI has an X icon. See here. Material UI icons. Is there like an X? Thing is there's search, there's sometimes, I bet this one will work. So instead of an X, we'll say close icon, I guess. And we'll say SX to, we have to do the double, I don't remember. The SX font size, looks like we have to do a double. I always forget. Font size be 18 px. And what's this problem? Oh, it doesn't close itself. Okay. And we can't do font weight, I don't think. But we could try to do color. Be white. All right, what does this look like? Looks better. I think that looks about right even. Now we need a hover effect. So I'm going to change this. A walkthrough. Oh. And now we need a hover effect. I don't think we need this anymore. You can double check. It still looks fine. Yep. Now we have a dot feed dash post dash creator image dash clear hover. So have a cursor, a pointer, and the background color gets slightly lighter, I think. RGBA 0.3 maybe. If you look at real Twitter, it's lighter. So you can see, actually, never mind, it gets darker. Oh, it does get lighter. Can't even tell. So it needs to go, yeah, 0.3. I think we need to go even darker, maybe 0.5, 0.4 here. And this might be a little aggressive on the top. Maybe we say 8 and 8. I think we do that. I'm going to make this 0.75. 5. So I think it needs to be darker so it really stands out better. Okay, I think that works. Now we need to do edit. In edit, we shouldn't have to change. So we'll grab this. Might need to add some padding and stuff to it. So edit will also have a position and all of this stuff. The height will probably be 30. Height 30 px. And I could probably set the width if I wanted to. So we inspect, and the width is that I want the div on the outside about 60. Sure. So width 60 px, and then we'll have a border radius of, I guess, like 15. And then we're gonna have the same background color. So, and then this will be bottom 8. Whoops. 8 px and right 8 px. We'll see how this looks. Okay, we always need color black or color white. You can see the font. That almost looks good as is, and that might be a little bit dark still. I might change this to like 0.6. 0.6. Okay, need a hover effect. And let's see, the font looks like it should be slightly smaller. So we'll say font size. I don't know how big that font size is to begin with, so we'll try 16 and see if it gets smaller. Didn't, so let's try 15, 14. There, that looks better. Cool. Now we need a hover effect, obviously. The hover effect would be the same. Basically, so dot feed dash post creator dash image dash edit colon hover, and this is going to be basically the same hover effect. And let's see. Cool. So that kind of works. Now if we click X, we had to delete the image off of here. And if we hit edit, it's supposed to pop up a modal. So for the modal, let's get rid of, this for the modal. What I'd like to do, I think, is maybe start up a slice and start refactoring some modal stuff. But that's for the X, that should be kind of easy. The only thing is, whenever we create our images, let's see here. Save this and go into our images. So what we do is we create the component like this. Then each component, I think we're going to have to pass each component the word for it. We need to pass each component the index, maybe, that we're looking for, and then remove it that way, possibly. So we come into our utils. So right now, we're creating these, and it just has an image and the key. But we might need to make but I guess we have the image, right? We can check the image. I think is just a URL, so I guess we don't need to do anything. We already have the image. It might be okay. I guess let's bring in import, use dispatch, and import, also grab selector, I guess, and then we'll import the, I think it's called updates post images. Okay, so update post images. I think that's everything we need. We'll say const state is equal to use states. Say, oh, we need a root state. Whoops. Root state, and return the state. Actually, return state.post, just to make our lives a little bit easier. Then we'll also say const dispatch on dispatch equal to use dispatch. Okay, or use state. And we'll say, what's this one's problem? Oh, this should be use selector. Bad. Then we'll say const remove image. And we already have the image. So what we'll do is we will create a copy of the state. So it's a const image array copy is equal to json.stringify JSON. Actually, we want to say json.parse json.stringify, and we're going to say state.current post images. This is because we can't modify the actual state without a reducer. It'll break. And now we have like our images, right? And then what we can do is we can say image array copy. How do we want to do this? We want to filter the images. We want to filter out the images that match this, I guess. So we can say image array copy equal to image array copy dot filter. Let's go ahead and make this an array so it stops complaining. Colon string array. So we should be able to say dot filter now. img for the image. Then we'll say if img not equal, we'll say img not equal to, and then image. And did I spell something wrong? What is this problem? Let's see. Oh, whoops. Fine. So basically we should say, hey, we want to remove this image that we clicked on. So if the image array, so we'll return everything that is not equal to the current image, basically. And then let's just console.log our image array copy to make sure that it's working as we expect. And then we can copy this and put this into the remove here. Let's see if this works. We've got a full slate of images here. We click this. We have 3 images now. I don't know which one. So it's not working, obviously, because although, you know what? It's because we never actually updated the state. I bet it'll work. So now we will dispatch, and we will dispatch the update current post images with our image array copy. And I guess we probably could have done a reducer or something for this. But now let's see. And voila. There goes all the images. Cool. So that one was pretty easy. So we can go ahead and say set up. What's going on with this? Nothing. Okay. Number 41. Set up the removal of images. That one was pretty simple. We didn't have to change anything, so that's cool. Now the part that's going to be annoying is popping up a modal whenever we want to edit. Because the issue is we can add an on-click to our feed post image right here. That's no big problem. The problem is that the modal needs to pop up on the feed page, right? So in feed, not there, the actual home page, this is where our component, or this is where our actual modal needs to pop up. So if we click on something, this is going to be where the primary feed stuff is. This is where our modal needs to pop up because this is like the main page. So that's going to be the issue. We need to pass, basically need to pass the data from the feed component all the way up here, which isn't great. What I'm thinking is we create a new slice and we set it up kind of just like a modal slice that holds modal state information, and then kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and see if I can, I'm not going to remember how to make a new slice, but go ahead and go slice, file, call this modal slice.ts. And then we need, let's just forget what we need. So we just need basically payload action create slice probably. So import payload action and create slice. Then we need our interface. And we'll call this modal slice state. I don't know if we need to export this or not, but this for now is just going to have a create for, let's see, edit post image Boolean, and we can add on to this as we go. Then obviously our initial state. So we'll say const initial state, which is a modal slice state. This will equal to edit post image will be false. And then we can do our actual creating the state or creating the slice. To just export const blah blah blah. Export const modal slice to create slice. Do this, and then we need the name. So this would be called modal. Then we need the initial state. Then we need our reducers, right? And then our reducers will say something like set or updates the edit post image, and this should probably be display edit post image and display edit post image, and we'll say update display edit post image, and this will be a function. I forget how we actually make reducers. Okay, it's just like this. This will take in a state and an action, which will be, technically, we're not going to even use the action. And what we'll do, this will say state is equal to ... state. And this is because we'll expand this because we have other modes that we're going to need to pop up in the future. And then we'll say display edit post image is equal to not state dot display edit post image. We'll just swap it, and then we will return our state, and then we will export our. Do we have to say const with this? I always forget. Export const. We'll update or update display edit post equal to, and this is to modal slice dot actions, and export defaults modal slice dot reducer. I think that's everything we need. Copy that. Now number 42. Set up a slice to be able to toggle modals from anywhere. All right, now 43. Set up the skeleton for image post editor. And I'm not getting into actually making this work because it's a massive pain, and I've done a lot of work on it. I haven't gotten that far. So let's see. I guess I can put this inside feed. We're gonna probably want to refactor a lot of this, but it is what it is. So feed post creator image. I'll say edit. Whoops. Edit image modal, and make a new file. Feed post creator edit image modal.tsx. And I completely forget how we even set up this. Let's take a look at our register modals. Register modal just takes in the modal and it has top content, and bottom content. Okay. So let's just return this. And figure it out as we go. So import React from React, export const feed post creator, edit image modal. And this might have to take in some states. I don't know. Return. Okay, they didn't copy, so that's great. I'll register modal and actually copy this. Now, obviously, we're going to have different content in here. Top content. Top. Main. And bottom for our modal. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to get this fully working at this point. I just want to get a pop-up that can quote unquote be for editing the image more or less. So keep that in mind. But whenever we click on edit, it's going to pop up with like a crop media on the top and then a arrow and then save. So this might be something else that we probably want put into its own folder or something at some point. But again, I'm kind of just putting this together for the time being. So what we can do is we need to build a top for this. At this point, we probably should make this a little bit different, but whatever. New folder. Let's actually grab this. Set up the skeleton for post image editor. 44. Set up back button. Save. Set up the top for the image feed post creator. Edit image modal. All right, so now we'll make another new folder. We need this, that way we can actually close out of it. That's the only reason I'm setting this up. Feed post creator. Edit image modal top. New file. Feed post creator. Edit image modal top.text. Okay, so now we'll export, we'll import React from React. And we're also going to need dispatch, import, use dispatch. We're going to need import app dispatch. We're going to need imports, update display, edit post image. We'll export const and feed post creator, image modal, edit image modal top. And I think we're going to want a CSS for this as well. So let's go ahead and make the CSS import, say / feed post creator, edit post image modal top.css. Create this new file, post creator, edit image modal top. Okay, so if we go back into Twitter, we have on the left side, we have a back icon. So we'll go ahead and we'll say div class name equal to feed post creator, edit, image, total top. Then we'll make another div, last name equal to feed post creator dash edit image total top back. And then let's look in Material UI again. So Material UI, we want a back icon. Let's search back. And it's this one, so grab this. These ones are pretty common. So we'll grab our back icon. Here, I guess. Well, okay, cool. Didn't even copy, so you love to see that. Copy this guy. Now we'll have our arrow back icon. That, and then this will have an on click on it. On click. This on click will actually take us back. So, or close the modal, more or less. So const close modal. So we'll close the modal, clicking that. I guess technically saving it will close the modal too, but I'm not going to worry about the on click for saving. We need to set up our dispatch. So const dispatch is equal to a app dispatch equal to use dispatch. This is more or less what I'm trying to get set up here, is so we can close out of it after we click on it. This will just dispatch a update this. And let's see. Expected 1 argument, but got 0. Should be able to ignore it. Little slice. I don't think we can get rid of this action. Yes, we can actually. We're gonna get rid of it. We don't need it anyway. Okay. So that will basically, if it's open currently, it'll just close out of it, and that's all we need. So we have the back arrow. Then we have, after that, we have like a p tag or something. It says crop media. It might be like an H. Not sure what it is. Oh, it's just a span. So I'm just gonna make it a p tag. P last name feed dash post dash creator edit image modal, and we'll call this text. And this just says what, crop image or something like that. Crop media. And then we have another button that just says save, right? Click on the right thing. Just have another button, last name, feed, post, creator, edit, image, total. And this will be save. And then this just says save. And then maybe an on click that does nothing. Well, we can just call it, let it call close modal. We're not going to actually save the image right now, but we can close the modal if we click on it. So, okay, this looks good to me. Copy this, paste it into our walkthrough. Now 45. Create the CSS for the new top part. And then we need to, number 46, add the top into the modal components. I'm going to do right now, so don't forget. We have our modal. Now this top content will be feed, post, image, modal, image top. And it shouldn't take any components. Not be used. Return type is void. Let's see. Let's make sure to return this. Got excited. Okay. So we have no way of opening this either, so that's great. So let's just, for now, I'm gonna go into the home page and I'm just going to display it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say feed, post, creator, edit image modal. And we're gonna set this up later to not display it. Not true, basically. But there should be a modal popped up. Let's see. Cannot resolve feed post creator edit post image pops. Yes. Wrong. Looks fine. Let's just see how I spelled this wrong. Like I said. Also, I know that this is an issue, but it is what it is. So obviously it doesn't look great because we need to CSS it, and that's why I was just throwing all this stuff on here so we could take a look at what it looks like so we could CSS it. So this guy, copy this, do this. So width is obviously going to be 100%, right? And going to have a display flex. And we're going to align items in the center, which isn't probably going to do very much because we haven't set up a height, but at least that looks a lot better. And if I wanted to, I could probably go on Twitter and figure out exactly how tall this top part is by doing this. So it's about 53 tall. So I could say like the height of this is like 55. I don't like it being weird heights. So I could just say height is 50 px. Whoops. Call it a day. Cool. So I'm fine with this right now. I think that looks fine. Now, obviously, this needs some padding on the left and right. Maybe top. I think the top is fine. It definitely needs padding. I'm gonna say maybe like padding left. Maybe like 12 or 16 pixels. And padding, which isn't gonna do much right now, about 12. Let's give it a little bit of space. We might need more space than that. We'll see. So now we need this back. I think that the back icon itself is about a good size. Might be a little bit big. We might need to make it a little bit smaller. But this one, I'm gonna guess height and width is gonna be 40. And then background color, let's say RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.25 or something. Border radius of 100%. We're going to have our display of flex. Oops. Flex. And we will justify content in the center. Align items in the center. I don't think there's anything else we need to do on that. That might move this. That might be a little bit big. Let's try 30. That might be as small. Let's see. Although keep in mind, it's a little bit dark, I think. Keep in mind, that 0.2. This is a little bit big right now. SX font size, say 14px. Okay, that's too small. 15px. That's still too small. I'm gonna keep bumping this up until we get something that looks good. That might be about right. 18. Whatever it was way too big. That might be okay. I think that might be okay size-wise for the circle as well. Changes to 1.5. And this needs to be .feed post creator image top back : hover. Background color actually needs to go on the hover, like so. And what we'll do is a cursor pointer. I think that looks pretty good. All right. Now we're gonna see if my flex skills are gonna work or not. So copy this guy. I'm gonna try justify self center and see if it wants to work. I love it. Of course, it's not gonna work. I mean, maybe we could do space between. It work out? Yeah, I guess that'll work. Okay. Make sure our margin on this is 0. We don't want anything messing this up. Now, let's see what font size and stuff this uses. Oh, shoot. That's... So, what do I want to do here? I guess I don't want to justify it center anyway. What do I want to do in this situation? Really, we don't want a space between in this. We want it like this, except there's a bunch of space in between here and here. Almost need to do one of these. As much as I hate doing this, is what it is. Edit image total top left, and then we have to group these two together like so. You take this, say this, and the width, let's make the width like 33% or something. I don't know, doesn't really matter what it is. And then we can go ahead and justify content, space between again, space between, and we'll say height is just 100%. This is what sucks, is now that we made a container, we have to do all of this again. Display flex, center, space between. I guess it's not that bad. 33% might be too much. little bit too much space there, so let's try 25%. I'm just gonna get this so that's basically, yeah, like that. Guess that wasn't as bad as I had thought. Okay, so let's take a look at the font weight and font size. So font weight's gonna be pretty thick here. Everything tells us the should be able to hover over it and tell us, right? 20 pixels. So font size 20px. This is pretty thick. Although I'm guessing whenever I do 20px is gonna make it thicker. Nope, it didn't. So we'll say font weight. We'll give it like 800 because it's pretty thick. And okay. Now we need to go ahead and bump this back up to like 33. We made it a little bit bigger. That's still a little bit far. I can live with that. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, it's not going to be perfect because obviously we don't have Twitter's font. So the font, for one, needs to be like this. I think we need to change the font family. I forget what my font families even are. Let's see. Where's my index? They're not there. No. Where is my index dot for CSS? Not in assets, right? It is. I already have Flex. We'll say, I always figure how to set up fonts. I guess it only goes up to, oh wait, Ubuntu only goes up to 700. Interesting. Let's try Ubuntu and see what happens. Kind of go from there. Let's see. I forgot I had all of these. Kind of a mess. So, how's it going, James? Font family, Ubuntu, sans serif. I always forget how to do CSS or, whoops. See, I'm gonna do Google this. I always forget how to do this. I use Premiere Pro. CSS font family. I used to use I have to have a comp. I used to use I haven't heard back yet, unfortunately. Hopefully today. Fingers crossed though. Appreciate you asking though. And fingers crossed though. Apparently they had some more interviews and stuff to do yesterday, so it looks better. Now I'm willing to make this a little bit less thick though, because I think this is a little bit too thick now. Yeah, I used to use Sony Vegas. I didn't really love the rendering of Sony Vegas. And now that's too thin. Oh, is it? Yeah, I think. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm supposed to have some other opportunities with this same company. They're a consulting firm, so hopefully if this one doesn't work out, hopefully there's like another one. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping I can get something relatively quickly. It was, so since it was with the consulting firm, it was a little bit different style. So I did get some like general questions to get through like the consulting company screen. And then from there. Since a lot of these companies work with this consulting company anyway, the final interview is more behavioral and just see good fit culture wise. So it was a pretty simple interview. Um, so yeah, that's more or less how it went down. 78, but it's got some weird padding on it. I did get some like simple system design questions, stuff like that, but nothing too crazy. Um, yeah, wasn't too bad. So this looks like it's about 75 by 50. So let's do this last one. Feed post creator image save. And we'll say width is about 75 px and height. No algorithms, questions, or anything like that. But I'm sure that some of those are coming. Really? That's way too tall. Am I going crazy? I swear that said 50. It says 53, but oh, it's because there's adding and stuff. What's the actual button? 30? What is this Twitter's got going on? It's actually like 30. Twitter's got an absolute disaster going on. That might be okay. Yeah, so they made it kind of seem like the consulting company made it kind of seem like it would be a sure thing. Then once I got into the interview, they're like, "Oh yeah, we have more interviews and stuff like that." So I was like, "Oh, so this isn't as sure as it sounded like." So that's why I'm a little bit skeptical about getting it. But this firm seems like they want to work with me, and they've got other positions. Hopefully that I would be able to also try to interview for. I have used Angular. I just prefer React. Okay. And maybe let's make the font size slightly bigger. Font size, let's try 16px. It's just a preference thing, honestly. I learned React first, so it's like, oh, I kind of like React. So 600. And let's see, is there a hover effect on this? There is. And let's actually make this like 15. Let's do our hover effect. I've thought about making an Angular tutorial, maybe after the tutorial I'm working on right now. I just haven't had time to actually record much of the tutorial. But I am making a new like MERN stack tutorial, so probably like 0.75 cursor pointer. The thing is I had to, with my old job, I kind of had to tread around what videos I made. That's why like Let's Build Twitter is just more or less a build along with me instead of a tutorial, because if I'm training, I don't want someone from higher up finding the YouTube channel being like, oh, well, so and so is using training material or not, even though I would never do that. So I had to kind of tread around what content I could make, whatnot. So, but now that I'm free of that contract, I'm working on tutorials and stuff like that. I just don't have time to record them and everything. So a lot of cool stuff coming, hopefully very, very soon. So this is good, I think. Copy this, paste it in here, add it to the modal. Yeah, I mean, Angular's okay. I just don't prefer it as much. This is good. This, we already set up the closed modal, right? set up that. So what we can do is say 47, set up the let's see, set up the modal to be displayed on the page if the state is true. Let's set it up to actually display. You know, there's people either love Angular or they love React, and there's like no in between. I mean, I'm not gonna say I hate Angular. You know, the whole template thing is kind of what throws me off. I like React because you can put everything into a file. It's encapsulated basically into that file, versus doing it the way that you have to do it with whatever it's called with Angular. We'll say const display display edits image modal is equal to use selector. Then we'll say states root states dot what? I never set it up in the store. Kind of, yeah, I guess you could say that. Angular is also kind of like the older one that a lot of the import this. Imports modal slice modal reducer. I'll finish my thought in a second. From // redux. I mean, I know a lot of Java devs that do like Angular. I mean, I could see where you're coming from. And I guess the only thing that I didn't love about Angular is just all of the files and everything that you get whenever you're using Angular. But Angular's like the older one of the bunch. So a lot of enterprise clients, whenever they switched over to your SPAs or the SPA world, they used Angular because Angular was like the new thing at the time. I do have a LinkedIn, but currently I'm keeping it private, keeping it separate from YouTube. Set up the door. But yes, I do have a LinkedIn, but I try to keep it like my professional life right now separated from YouTube, and then maybe that'll change in the future. See. Okay, so now we should be able to set this up. Home date modal display image edit. And then we'll set this up. We'll say this. That. Okay, that's set up. Walkthrough. Then 49. We'll say pop up the modal when edit is clicked. This we need to go into after this stream. I can figure that out. So I know that you commented on my video, so we can get into contact maybe through email or something like that. I think I should have an email on my YouTube, so if you want to contact me through email, and then I can give you LinkedIn that way. I just don't want to blast my link through YouTube, basically. So let's see. So whenever we want to go into our feed, post your image, Whenever we on-click this, we want to dispatch update. So we already have used dispatch. So we need to import updates, and is display edit post image. I also have Twitter, that's right, as well. And whenever we say const edits, yeah, and my Twitter is also inside of my channel. So either one of those would be a way to reach out to me. That way I not airing out all of my stuff. So whenever we edit image, we'll dispatch and we'll update edit image like that. So this will just make it so that it should toggle it on. So I don't know if this is going to work or not. So it's gone. So that's a good start. Refresh. Come in here. Let's just add a singular image. I have like an Xbox controller. We click edit. Pops up. Goes away. Save goes away. Cool. So not a crazy amount of work done. But we can add images. We can edit them. If we wanted to, we could display it in the middle. But we're going to do a whole bunch of steps to get the image editing working. So I'm not looking forward to that. But this is good to go. We can take a look at what I wanted to get done or what we needed. So we have edits, got all of this. Okay, so now tag people pops up a modal, add description pops up this little edit icon. And I don't know what tag people modal pops up. Let's take a quick look at that. So we go into Twitter and we come back. It's a little bit, but I have a decent computer. Not a really good computer, but a decent computer. It takes a while to render and stuff. And depending on what kind of computer you have, if you have like a laptop or not great computer, it's probably not going to work too well, but it is what it is. It's not too bad. So whenever you tag people, that description just pops up this one again. That's not a big deal. Tag people pops up a whole new modal. So I'll have to create a new modal for that. Okay, so let's save this. Get rid of some stuff that we don't need open currently. I've only got about 5 more minutes until I've got to call it a morning, just because I gotta take my dog out and stuff. So we got some good progress done though. So if we wanted to, we can make the new modal real quick. And well, first we need to set up the slice. So we'll go into our Redux slices modal slice, and we'll say display tag. Thanks for stopping by, James. I appreciate you. Display tag people, Boolean. We'll say display tag people. Start out as false. Then we will say update display tag people. Take in the state. This is going to do the same exact thing. State equal to ... State. We'll say display tag people is equal to not state.display tag people. From the state and export this. Update display tag people. Cool. So we'll say whichever one this is, 50. Update the modal slice to allow toggling tag modal. That's 51. Up skeleton for the tag modal. Set up the skeleton, and then that'll probably be it. New folder, feed, post, creator, tag, modal, file, feed, creator, tag, modal, and I'm going to grab this one. I'm just going to yoink this basically, paste it, and this will say op for now. This skeleton 52 set up op or feed post creator image creator tag modal. So you make sure this says tag. Cool. And that should be fine. This says tag people. And I think that's where I'm going to end it for now. Make sure this is good. So whenever we get back on Thursday, we will get the tag people modal set up. We'll get this set up. Of course, we'll keep this and we'll implement the actual modal later. Trying to get the images, and then we'll start working on this stuff. Then we have time. This stuff should be pretty simple. It's just going to be a little bit of logic. So cool. Thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next stream or video.